Hello and welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden and today I'm going to be reviewing none other than Elijah Craig Rye. Now this is something that I haven't seen very often in the stores, and when I saw it today I gotta say I was pretty excited. Now I don't believe that this is supposed to be limited, and for my knowledge it's not supposed to be limited. However, they did do a release of this I think about a year ago or so that it came out in a couple states and it wasn't everywhere that I know of. And I haven't seen it since. And luckily today I ran past it and I saw it and I'm like, I gotta have it, I gotta try it, gotta review it, I can't wait, and I'm super excited to get into it. So let's skip all this nonsense and jump right into this bottle. This is a Elijah Craig Rye 94 proof. It is 51% rye, which means it is a barely legal rye. 51% rye, 35% corn, and it is 14% malted barley. A lot of these kinds of ryes, they tend to, taste a little bit more like bourbon, and it's perfect for a bourbon drinker to kind of work his way into the rye territory. I am one of those people who would prefer a glass of bourbon over a glass of rye, but I do, however, really enjoy a nice glass of rye. If it's a well put together rye or something super unique, I really enjoy it. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get it on the nose right away. Okay, that's interesting. The first thing I'm noticing on the nose is kind of like a black pepper, along with a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of nuttiness, just a tad of nuttiness, but a lot more of that black pepper. It's definitely spicy. It definitely has that rye spice in there, almost like it's kind of got like a eucalyptus-y, like a black tea type nose to it. Okay, there is some fruit somewhere deep in there. It smells a bit hot, honestly, compared to the typical Elijah Craig bourbon. It does smell a little bit more aggressive, and that's probably coming from the extra rye in it. Overall, nose seems like it's gonna be definitely an experience on the palate. I want to say there's a little bit of that caramelness. There's definitely oak present in there. I'm not exactly sure how old this whiskey is, but for a rye, it does seem to have quite a bit of oak presence compared to other ryes I've had. It does seem like a nice darker color though as well compared to other ryes I've had. So there's a good possibility that it's up there in the age. It's definitely got a lot of character to it, that's for sure. But we're gonna go ahead and get this on the palate and see how much it differs from the nose. Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay, that was why. That was that. Oh, the spiciness of that. I mean, noticeably right away in the palate, I noticed it was hot. I could tell that it was, it's got a lot of that rye spiciness in it. It it's definitely like got a rich mouthfeel to it. It's definitely a lot happening as well. There's that black pepper is prevalent, but I'm getting a lot of like clove in there, like a heavy baking spice cloveness. I want to say nutmeg. It's definitely got a little bit of that peanut dust in it. Almost like it seems a little bit almost drying on your palate. The oakiness is definitely showing up on the palate here. I honestly gotta go in again. This is wild. Okay, that time I got like a fruity note almost like a orange zest maybe, or some kind of citrusy note on it. It's in there. It's mixed in with everything. Almost like if you squeeze like maybe like a lemon. Maybe if you squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into your tea. I know that's a pretty common thing. Squeeze some lemon into your tea. It's kind of tasting like that eucalyptusy, florally, lemony deliciousness. But at the same time, while all that's going on, right up front, there's all that spice and black pepper and warmth that's coming through to it. Wow, this is something that's honestly very, intriguing to me. It's really interesting for sure. Wow. I mean, it's honestly pretty good for a $30 rye whiskey. The finish is moderate to long. It does leave a little bit of a Kentucky hug back there. Super interesting. Lots of spiciness, lots of herbal things going on. A lot of that lemon citrusy notes mixing in there, almost like a little bit of like honey too. Maybe that's going all into that tea note that I'm getting. But it does remind me of if you had like lemon honey black tea. Herbaceous, rich, viscous, oaky, spicy, cinnamony, lots of cloves. It's just very interesting. That being said, I think I need to let this one open up a little bit. Maybe I'll go grab a little bit of water to drop into it. But if you guys haven't checked out my Patreon, go check it out. The link will be down in the description. Also, if you haven't liked this video yet, but you are enjoying it, smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed. But I'm going to run out and get some water while I let this open up for the next 10 minutes. And we're going to see how much this whiskey will evolve. So after sitting for a bit, I'm going to go ahead and jump back into this glass before I add a little bit of water to it to tame it down. Honestly, I'm so far excited and happy about this buy, but we're going to see how much it changes. There is something weird in there that's going on. Something alcohol-y, and it's not like proof as much as it's like almost like a rubbing alcohol that's in there, but not like in a bad way. Just slightly there under the surface, but it's not a bad thing. It honestly might be even adding something to this. Everything else pretty much stay the same. Palate, honestly, same thing. It really is giving me a black tea with lemon and honey in it. It's fantastic, it really is, but I'm gonna see if adding just a little bit of water will dilute this down just a little bit. Couple drops of water added there. Let's see how much that changes this whiskey. It's not very high proof, but it is definitely somewhat aggressive, so this should change it slightly and bring out maybe some of those more nuanced flavors that seem to be mixing together. It does seem like it's pretty well balanced whiskey, but it does also feel like there's a lot going on. So okay, so it did tame things down a little bit. I am getting like a sweeter caramel note now on the nose, along with that eucalyptus. It's almost like a sweet green tea now instead of a herbaceous black tea. I almost want to say there's a little bit of mint somewhere deep down in there. Very nice, sweeter than it was, but we're gonna see if the palate has changed at all. Okay, the palate really died down a lot on this one. It didn't change as much. It still got some of that cinnamon and some of that eucalyptus, lemony, honey note. Definitely herbaceous and tea forward with some spice and oak in there, but the water kind of died down on the heat and intensity of it all. It kind of brought it down to a moderate sipping temperature, and honestly, I think this would be something that goes very well with ice in the summer. You know, not a lot of people drink ryes in the summer because they tend to be a little bit warmer and spicy, but this would hold up very well if you guys had it on the rocks. So I think that is definitely something you could use it for. But honestly, it is super unique in my opinion. It just seems like I haven't had a lot of ryes, but it does seem like it's got something going on that's just crazy. Just a lot of different things going on. It's not the best at one thing, but it's kind of just good at everything. It seems to be the right price, the right company. I mean, everyone loves Elijah Craig. Heaven Hill products are usually pretty good stuff, but I think it's time I grade this whiskey. So today's Elijah Craig Rye whiskey is going to get a grade from me of 8.3. So Elijah Craig Rye gets an 8.3 for me. This honestly is such a good budget rye for $30. You guys aren't gonna break the bank buying this. You can't go wrong with buying this bottle, and honestly, it's gonna be a great pour. Even if you just have it on the rocks, or maybe mix it up in a mixer for something that you want the rye to really come through and show itself in. This would be a wonderful whiskey for that. But honestly, even just drinking straight up, it's got a lot going on, a lot for you to pick out from it. It's fantastic. Gets an 8.3 for me. That being said, this is the end of the video. If you guys liked it, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and comment in the comment sections if you've seen this Elijah Craig Rye anywhere in your stores, or if you're still waiting for it to show up, just like I was before I found it today. That's the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next class.